come over, you work in the laundry, either your own laundry or you work for somebody. So you work for somebody, they hire you for a week. You have the 6.5 day work, stay in there, and 18 hours a day. So early in the morning, 6 o'clock, you have to get up, have something, so you start work at 6:30. The people go to work around 7, 8 o'clock, right? So you see those walking on the street and going to take a subway and go to work. Then you stay there working until 5, 6 o'clock. You see the same people and off work and going home, right? And you're still working until 7, 8 o'clock. They go out to go to the movie or go to party. You're still working there until they come home at 11, 12 o'clock. Hey, Charlie, you still open? So they come for the laundry. Then you feel hurting you inside. I said, why? I said, you're not animal, not horse or cow. You didn't even have chance to go to sleep.
We had to work in the laundry. You didn't know anything, so what could you do? In those days, we Chinese could only work in laundries or restaurants. Just those two things.
My father come in here how many years? He can't talk that much at all, only say good morning. How are you? That's all. When you get a shirt, that's all. On Monday, Tuesday, in the whole week.
Well, the laundry is hard work. That's okay, you know, I could bear that. But the most thing that I could not bear at that time is loneliness.
People would come and yell at my parents. They would say, why is this button missing from my shirt? I want you to sew a button on it. I want you to pay for it. Or if things weren't as ironed, as stiffly or whatever as they wanted my parents to do it over. And a lot of times, most of the customers called my father, like in the poem, Charlie. They never really asked him his name. So we asked my father, well, why do they call you Charlie? He says, well, that's, the American way. The Lofans, they just call us all Charlie.
Do you know why so many Chinese are in the laundry business?
I really don't. I didn't think about it, but it would be interesting to know. Do you know?
Do you use a Chinese laundry?
No.
Do you know anyone who does?
Oh wait, I do. I have this big ugly linen tablecloth which costs me $7 every time I have people over to dinner. So I do use the Chinese laundry to do this linen tablecloth.
Were there any laundries?
And $1 for the napkins.
What do you think about the work that's done at the Chinese laundry?
Not too hot, really. I don't like them usually because they're all folded up and it's too starchy most of the time. Even when you say without starch, the collars have little folds in them and all that kind of stuff.
Why do you think so many Chinese have been in the laundry business?
Could be their specialty, I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing they know how to do since they come from maybe China to America.
Many stories about how the Chinese got started in the laundry business. Almost all of them hinge on one point, though. They started in the laundry business because they weren't allowed to do certain other things, like work in the gold fields.
Back in those days, not too many family come over, mostly just men.
Didn't have choice. Not my intention to come over this country in the beginning. It's my brother sent me over here. See, mostly mostly Chinese people, they're poor, they will come over here to make a new life, to make money, to help the family. That's most of Chinese people, and they have their idea. I guess I come the same way.
The 8-pound livelihood was very hard work. In the old days, we had stoves, those round ones that used charcoal. 8-pound irons were put on the top. We had a small bucket of water on the side. We opened the top grill and put charcoal in it. When the charcoal was all burnt, we cleaned the stove. We shook the bottom so the charcoal dust would fall down. Two people ironed, one on either side of the stove. Each person had 4 irons. If the iron was too hot, I used the hook to pick up the iron and cool it in the water. Then I held the iron with a handle pad to work. When it cooled, we changed to a hot one. We kept on ironing one shirt after another. Then we neatly folded all of them.
My bigger sister is a father-in-law called. The father-in-law laundry. So come the night, it's 12 o'clock already, I want to go sleep. So I go there, sleep, then wake up. I hear the noise, wake up. Then I go downstairs at 2 o'clock or something. They still there was, working. Then I'm downstairs, holy cow, you people still working? He said, yeah. You go to New York to do the same thing. You do the lousy work, the same thing, what we do here. I said, holy cow. I get the business in China. I sold my business, come here, do that kind of lousy work and sting. There you close. Oh, that's what I'm talking to. I talk to myself now. I get trapped now. What am I going to do? I go back in China and get no business no more. Now I stuck in here, so what can I do? So that's why in Canada I come to here. The same thing, what can I do? I ain't get no money to go back in China. I had to stay with my old man.
Before the Second World War, I tried my best. I tried to learn something from this country. I said, if I go back home, I won't come back. So I have to know something. I can survive. So that's why I learned how to drive. I learned how dancing. I learned how few things. I can speak too much, but my feet and my hand can do something. So that's why I try to do.
At the beginning, the customer come in, bring the shirt in. You give them a ticket. You count how many shirt, and you write in the ticket, give them back the ticket. We get one ticket. Then tonight, we check all the clothes.
We get all the dirty clothes put in a big bag, and wet wash company would have a truckman come in to pick them up during the night. They have them all washed and cleaned and delivered early in the morning before we open the store.
Bye, have a nice day.
Way back, like more than 75 years ago, we have to do by hand, everything by hand. But after the laundry get more busy, more people work, so they can't do all by hand. So they they send it out to the American wet wash. So until 1930, around their time, so to some people in Chinatown, they start, the Chinese wet wash. So they have one as they call China wet wash. When in China, they don't know any laundry work. You know what the thing that said laundry and the Chinese word, 衣相棍? They thought about the sewing clothes. They don't know that wash clothes was for dirty clothes. They thought it was you selling clothes, a business. See, that's what I always gets me. Nobody can tell them, even you tell them how hard to work over here. They don't believe you. They give you food. Where they come get the Chinese food? You had to go back to Chinatown or go home. That takes you too long. Right? So their way, so they save time and make more convenient for them. So they, of course, the rice is important.
"25 years of scrubbing the dirt out of a pillow, a sheet, and a shirt. Someday the kids will have better than we, an easier job or a college degree. Till then it's an 8-pound iron, 12-hour day, 7-day week just to make it pay. Sort and wash, press and fold bitter rice on a mountain of gold."
I remember working, in this case it was a shirt pressing factory. I worked a short shift since I was only a kid. I worked a 10-hour shift. And it was all piecework, shirts. And of course the summer was particularly rough because the heat inside the place would go up to 90 to 100 degrees or more. I used to try to keep all the windows and doors open and keep the fans going, but with all the different equipment and steam and hot irons, it got pretty hot in there.
125 pounds of steam whole day long. You stay there by machine. You sweat the whole thing, you sweat. Working machine no good, it's hard. One man work in the collar and the cup, and the other one work in the tail, the body here. Well, some guy work hard, work fast, and make good money. Slow, the people slow, they can't work in the machine. They don't give you a job. I make about 700 shirts a day, a machine. And the other guy make 1,000 of my shirt.
You had to do the finishing touches and wrap them. I can still do a shirt pretty fast, actually. And as I remember, we got 3 cents to 5 cents per shirt. We were given a half an hour for lunch, but nobody ever took a half an hour. Usually we just took 15 minutes, so we could run back and do a few more shirts. Yeah, pretty hot and sweaty work. Convinced me of one thing, which is that I'd never want to do that again for a living.
Till then it's an 8-pound iron, 12-hour day, 7-day week just to make it pay. Sort and wash, press and fold bitter rice on a mountain of gold. Wild geese fly over the sea. My love for China will always be, but war and famine made her grieve. When a family's poor, the sons must leave. When we first came, no welcome we found. Hate was the color, curses was the sound.
Because of the nature of this country, we are not accepted here totally as Americans. And one often grows up thinking of Chinese people as a minority because there's so few of us here. But the reality is that there's so few of us here because they purposely kept us out. The 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act was to prevent large numbers of Chinese from immigrating into the United States. I began to realize that a lot of my consciousness had been shaped by just that, certain immigration laws.
When we were younger, on that side of the block, a lot of the kids were kind of chasing us around the block. They called us names and go Ching Chong, Chinaman, and, you know, chop suey and stuff. And they were this wild family, and they used to beat us with sticks until finally one day my grandmother, who was visiting, took this stick and beat up one of the boys. And then after that they left us alone.
They run you a store for a laundry, but when you look for an apartment nearby, they won't rent it to you because of the discrimination. So that's most of the reason that a lot of people just slip in the laundry, even though they really don't have room.
This is a layout drawing of the laundry that I grew up when I was younger with my two parents, younger sister, and baby brother. So in the mornings when I was 5, I would get up from the sofa, which we opened up at night, and this was the largest area in the laundry. How far it folded out was about 6 feet, and it was about 6 feet wide. So after waking up, I would run to turn on the TV over here and watch cartoons. And after watching half an hour of cartoons, I would have to make breakfast. So I would squeeze by another folded out bed, past my sisters, and go into the kitchen here. And at the stove, I would make, you know, eggs and coffee. And after I finished cooking, I would run back out and wake up my sisters, and then my parents, and then my brother would be sleeping in this crib at the foot of the sofa. And everyone would wake up and we'd run around and we'd fold up the sofa, fold up this folding table, and we'd come over here where we put a folding table, like a card table, and 6 folding chairs, and we would put it right in this area, open it up, and have our eggs and milk and juice and stuff. And I would have to rush out through this curtain that separated the living quarters from where my father worked. And I would just run out and just push through this little wooden door that was about that high and run out the door to school. And then at 3 o'clock, I would run back in through this little swinging door, and then my father would be here. He'd be ironing at the ironing board, and he'd say hello, you know, and the customers would go through the same door and they would look over the counter and give their tickets to my father. But I would run back here, and my mother would be, you know, cooking or doing the housework, taking care of my 2 sisters and my baby brother. And I guess one of my favorite spots was right here by this curtain. And sometimes I would just sit here and watch my mother cooking in the kitchen or holding my baby brother and feeding him after school, and kind of peeking through at my father ironing the shirts and talking to the customers. He came to America aged 11, washing people's socks, slept in class. A paper son with false papers he bought back in the village because America restricted aliens. I have a cameo photograph of him, New York, Chinatown, 1939. Sepia tone, double-breasted suit, out with the boys on Sunday. America only let the guys in. And hey, that dude was some snappy dresser.
So I suffer a little too much already. The hell with everything. I could take care of myself. So I get a car, I get a little boat. Then I had a girlfriend, go every place. The hell with the world, I'm going to have a good time. That's what I make up my mind.
And she came in 50, classified refugee from China, from feudal backwoods of Kwantung. Her marriage arranged to New York rush hours, speaking no English, working in sewing factories till her back gave out.
In China,
In the old days, women thought people came over to the gold mountain to pick gold. You think they knew they were coming to work in a laundry? After being here and working so hard, we said, I'd rather be a farmer in China. But after I raised all my kids, it's nice to be in America.
Satisfied. So happy.
We'll keep working for as long as we can, till the girls are married and the boys are men. Grandchildren will ask how it came to be, how we lived, how we worked in a new country.
My mother and father, they say, well, why do you want to write about laundry? Or what's so important? I've done it all my life. Because in their mind, it's still like, if they could have, they wouldn't have wanted to be laundry people. They would have, my mother would have wanted to be a doctor. Or my father, I think if he might have been a writer.
I suppose one of the things that I'm concerned is that the generation coming after me has something to hold on to, has something to say, well, this is basically songs about us, this is basically theater about us, this is basically literature and art about us and the way we feel. And this is something we're going to participate in, directly or indirectly.
He passed away 2 years ago from cancer, 50 years old. The relative said he was a good man. She misses her best friend, continues the laundry, watching the children leave. She hopes they graduate from college, marry, have happy lives, grandchildren for her, for him. The legacy is the clarity of our own vision. What we choose to do with our lives will bear fruit to that work and that spirit.
25 years of scrubbing the dirt out of a pillow, a sheet and a shirt. Someday the kids will have better than we, an easier job or a college degree. Till then it's an 8-pound iron, 12-hour day, 7-day week just to make it pay. Sort and wash, press and fold bitter rice on a mountain of gold. When we first came, no welcome we found. Hate was the color, curses was the sound. Laundry in front, family in the back, all eating and working and sleeping in a 2-room shack. 8-pound iron, 12-hour day, 7-day week just to make it pay. Sort and wash, press and fold bitter rice on a mountain of gold. Wild geese fly over the sea. My love for China will always be, but war and famine made her grieve. When a family's poor, the sons must leave. We'll keep working for as long as we can, till the girls are married and the boys are men. Grandchildren will ask how it came to be, how we lived, how we worked in a new country. It's an 8-pound iron, 12-hour day, 7-day week just to make it pay. Sort and wash, press and fold bitter rice on a mountain of gold.